Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the PML Wrestling Show. It's the PML Crew, Rich Lopez, Homeboy Malloy, Robert Price, Top Shelf. Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
How was the weekend?
It was good.
Played at some baller-ass wedding.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah?
Very nice.
That's good.
Congratulations to my friends Rory and Kelly on getting married. Great day. Great weekend overall.
That's good. That's
yeah.
good.
Ate a lot of good food, man.
Hey. Weekends are always good for the food. Yeah. While we're on the congratulation tip, well, I guess it's more of a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Julian.
Yeah.
It was your first birthday. It was great to be part of it. And Flo, if you're listening, I guess we love you too. But,
yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right. Anyway, coming up on the show, obviously, we're wrapping down our, last of the big four before we pretty much wrap up the PML show. As if you guys have not been following, I know the summertime gets a little bit busy, but, we did the Money in the Bank into the King of the Ring, then we did the SummerSlam, then we did the Survivor Series. Last week we did the 92 Rumble, arguably the best ever. Now we are into the very last of the big four, which is, of course, WrestleMania. And then with WrestleMania, what we're going to do is I'm going to pick my favorite match, or, I don't know if we're doing favorites or just one that we wanted to cover. I kind of went with my first ever favorite match, or I think what should have been a lot of people's first favorite match when it comes to WrestleMania. And we're going to cover that one first, and then we're going to go to Malloy's match of choice, which I don't know if you want to say yours after mine.
Yeah, mine's...
Well, let me get mine first then, dude.
Yeah, I thought you already went.
Just jumping rope, dude. Just jumping over the line. Anyway, mine's WrestleMania 3, Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage. Intercontinental Championship matches. I think it's like the very first match where you could be like, all right, you don't have to be on the main event card. Or you don't have to be in the main event to realize that you could steal the show and have the best match. And then while you give what your match is, I'm just going to give everybody the timestamp. So when you go on that Peacock, go obviously to that WWE shitty interface and go to WrestleMania 3, and then go to 1 hour and 44 minutes. Again, that's 1 hour, 44 minutes. That is, you should just see kind of like a shot of Savage and Elizabeth in that mini ring, which is so badass. And then obviously, after Malloy, giving you guys time to get to that, Malloy's going to give his match that we're going to cover next, and maybe explain a little bit why, whatever. It's almost like a introductory and first day of school.
Yeah, right. So I picked WrestleMania 17. Yeah, WrestleMania 17, triangle ladder match. TLC II, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, TLC II coming in after SummerSlam. We got Edge, Christian, Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys. I picked this one because it's definitely like when I first started watching wrestling, I was enamored with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
So this was like something I would like go to Blockbuster, get the VHS after it came out, and I remember just like pretty much skipping everything besides that match and the Rock Austin match. And I haven't watched back in a while, so I would say it was like my first, like this is my Macho Man, Steamboat, I guess, just because I love car crash wrestling, even as a kid.
Of course, I feel like whenever you're trying to appeal to somebody that's not a wrestling fan, you always want to pull out a little gimmick match, just to kind of entice everybody. Because
I remember watching this up Smitty's house. It's actually, I think, the first time I saw it.
Yeah, it's just one of those matches where, like, if I would just show Christine, it's because there's so many elements that it's not just for us. We could appreciate the in-ring work, right?
Yeah.
And obviously when we did wrestling, that's what you would study. And then obviously, if you had time, you would study a gimmick match for the psychology purposes, where if you're, like I said, Christine or Sam, or obviously if I ever want her to like watch a crazy match, that obviously doesn't have that much blood in it, so I would actually probably pick a ladder match like that, you know what I mean? Or like a Shawn Razor ladder match, because I think ladder matches that's like my favorite gimmick match to ever watch, you know what I mean? Because it's, that are like the old cage matches where it was like planning the escape. I think Hell in the Cell kind of ruined it because I think Hell in the Cells are a little bit better. But I just like that element of not just pinning somebody, even though pinning usually ends a feud, so I get why pinning's important. It's just, I don't know, it's like a weird psychology that I kind of have. But also while we're giving out happy birthdays, I forgot Christine's cousin, Rihanna. She had a cool birthday party at Montage Mountain this past week.
Nice,
yeah, the water park. It was cool. I'd never been up there for the water park, and yeah, I mean, I haven't been to Camelback since I was like 8, so I have no recollection of it at all, really. But it kind of reminded me of that, like just walking around. It's very, I think it's smaller than Camelback probably, but it was cool. It was cool to see the family too. But anyway, hopefully you guys are ready. We're gonna do WrestleMania 3, and then as you know the people come out, I'll kind of explain why I picked that. But also, I know this is the last coverage of matches. Next week is gonna be the finale of the show, and I have no idea how long we're gonna go. I was actually thinking the billing cycle is I think the 12th. We might even take a week off so we just have a fresh 4-hour cycle. Just go like 2-3 hours. So whatever the next show is after this WrestleMania coverage, it's gonna be the last show. But we don't know how long we're gonna go because it's just gonna be a final wrap up. And then like we talked about, we're obviously still gonna get together and hang out. Will we record maybe a couple minutes of wrestling stuff? Maybe, but it's definitely not going to be as. I don't want to pressure it as much of like weekly content.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have families now. You're obviously getting another +1 in the Malloy household. So, after we have the WrestleMania episode right now, and then the following one, which will be either next week or in 2 weeks. We'll obviously make the announcement on our social media. That's El Fiend for the weekly shows. And then speaking of social media, if you guys want us to talk about anything on our very last show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at PML Show. If you guys want to obviously key in on that last episode or, watch some of the last couple heavy hitters that we've done, you can definitely listen to our show on Spotify, PML Wrestling Show. Comes out every Friday, or you could obviously listen in the archives. Or if you guys actually want to watch us watching a match, it is on YouTube every Friday. And obviously you can just search as PML Wrestling Show and you can see all the episodes that you guys want to watch. So again, this is the last of the Big 4 or Big 5 or 6, whatever you want to call it. And it's WrestleMania 3, 1 hour, 44 seconds. We're going to do the 3, 2, 1 play per usual. Someone give me that countdown.
3, 2, 1, play.
Boom. We got Savage and Liz coming out right now in that beautiful ring.
That's awesome.
I wish they could do something like that again. I know they kind of said at the Alamo Dome that they did at that Rumble, what was it, 2017, 18?
Yeah.
That they were like the bigger people were actually like carted on a golf cart type thing. But I'm like, why can't you just dress it up like nice like this and have them just come out?
Exactly.
It kind of made the spectacle.
They even did it like the 96 Rumble. 97 Rumble, didn't they do that?
Yeah, something like that. I forget what it was, yeah. But I miss it. I miss it a lot. But the reason why I picked this match, and I didn't want to say it was like my first favorite match because I've always said my first 2 VHS tapes that I've always bought when I started getting into wrestling was WrestleMania 12 and then WrestleMania 6.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. But when I started getting into wrestling as a teenager, because I think I was like 8 or 9 when I got those first 2 that I just mentioned. But when I became a teenager, and I remember my papa got me, it's one of my favorite Christmas gifts ever. It's the WrestleMania Anthology VHS
Oh, yeah,
set.
dude. I remember watching all of them up your house.
Yeah, it was 1 through 14. Amazing. I got the 15 DVD to kind of like snugly fit in there because I had a gap. But it was a nice little box set. But obviously, going through these, dude, I watched this match and I'm like, how is this not talked about more? Obviously, there was no internet then, so I'm sure there's a million, old heads, as I would have called them back when I was 14, loving this match. As we see Ricky Steamboat talking right now to Mean Gene. But, like, especially, as the internet grew and I seen, more people talk about this match, and then obviously watching more wrestling content, you just see kind of how you could put this is in 1987. This match, because of the style and the speed and the pacing, also, I would say the pacing because there's elements of it. You could play this right now, and it's just it's just a good match. You know what I mean? And that's just a testament to me. I mean, obviously Steamboat's amazing, but that's just a testament to Savage in WWE because we talked about it in one of our older shows with WrestleMania Resume. I think Savage is the very first Mr. WrestleMania, and I think it starts on this show. Yeah. I guess it starts on this one. You have 3 here with Steamboat. 4, he has those 4 matches in the tournament. 5, the Mega Powers. 6, it's the first ever co-main
events.
It's co-main events, but it's a mixed tag match with Dusty and Sapphire and Sensational Sherry. 7, the career match, which is the best match on that card. WrestleMania 8 with Flair, best match on that card for the title, and he wins the title. So just this kind of just lets go like a string of just classic moments or matches with Savage. And the other thing too, that just to kind of go off of Savage, and I'll let you take the reins for a couple minutes because I know I explained way too much, but he just made the moments look so big because like look at that robe, bro.
Yep.
Like there's obviously Flair and NWA doing shit like that right now. But other than that, it's Savage, dude, in WWE.
Yeah, and Savage, I think, was a little even more eloquent in his design on what he wore. Flair just had the robe, but Macho Man, he had the, like, after a while, this is just the beginning of his flashiness. You know, you would say he goes and he has the big pants, the big shirt, the big jackets.
Oh, I haven't had this in a while.
Yeah, that'll put some hair on your chest.
I had to do it for this match, man. I had to show the Crown Peach some love here, the T. But have you watched this match lately? I mean,
I haven't watched this match in a number of years, so this is really, I'm just like taken back by all of it. It's awesome. I know, like, hearing stories about it the last couple of years, especially from Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, right.
Like how crazy Randy was. Like the whole thing was spot.
Well, he had everything written down, and
Yeah.
they were just practicing at live shows to the point where at this, I think Steamboat said like, by the time they got to
this wasn't
WrestleMania
their best
3,
match.
he's like, it wasn't their best match, but at this point also, Steamboat's like, Savage would just call out, what's number 87?
Yeah.
And he would like name the hold or whatever. So like, that's how scripted that, you know, Savage wanted to make it look good. And Steamboat actually had a hard time with this in the beginning, he said, because he used, you know, he obviously
Caught in the
87,
ring.
it's old school, called in the ring. And I remember, speaking of those arm drags, if you guys are watching along.
The best.
I remember, like, that was my goal.
Yeah.
Like, Trotsky used to always say, I have really good arm drags. I'm like, dude, like, I would always take Eddie Guerrero's back suplex. I could never do it, but I tried so hard. Steamboat's arm drags, D'Lo Brown's, like, leg lariat.
Yeah.
There's just some elements of, like, I'd always try to, like, take from a wrestler when I used to wrestle. But, yeah, the one thing that I will always say, and before I also give another point that I want you to, I'll wait for your matches actually to give your explanation, but I kind of wish Steamboat had, I mean, obviously he wins the title, so I feel like this is a match that you actually could have springboarded both wrestlers.
Yeah.
Savage, obviously, at 4, wins the title.
Well, doesn't Steamboat leave after this and go become WCW champion?
Well, he does, but he takes time off. Like, he was the champion. He didn't like being the champion because of all the dates he had. Like, you know, back then they were doing 3 shows, A, B, and C. And I think Intercontinental Champion would usually headline the B.
Yep.
And, you know, so I think because he was having a kid, he wanted time off, and that's why he dropped the title to Honky Tonk. But, so he said, you know, there was reports of Hogan being pissed off because, you know, at the WrestleMania party after this, a lot of people went up to, you know, Steamboat saying, like, great match, and kind of took away the Andre Hogan match, which realistically it did. So but of course, Hogan was upset, and some people say that that's why Steamboat kind of got let go earlier, after, you know, soon after this, but Steamboat in that DVD that he came out with in WWE said that he just wanted time off, and that's why, so.
Yeah, Flair said on his podcast numerous times that if Steamboat lived like him, like where he didn't really care about his family, and like Flair's admit that it's like nothing new.
Yeah, he said it at the 30 for 30.
Yeah,
great, yeah.
He's like if he lived the gimmick, he goes he'd be like multiple time heavyweight champion cross promotions.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean,
because they wanted to give him the belt here, like he was like in talks.
Yeah.
And then obviously he leaves here and becomes like NWA champion. I don't know if it was NWA still or WCW at the time.
It was right there in that hybrid. By like
yeah.
the time, 89.
So yeah, he's big gold belt. I mean, that was huge for him. He's still playing the same gimmick. But I mean, Ricky Steamboat to me, like his greatest work was definitely in WCW. Like if you watch old NWA matches, like prior to this with Flair, Sting, good stuff. I mean, I think his best feat here is Macho Man.
That's it.
Because
really.
a lot of the guys that come in at this point in time. They either get completely recreated or they get to be themselves, like their character they were in the AWA or NWA.
Yeah.
And I think Ricky the Dragon, I guess he wasn't Ricky the Dragon Steamboat until he came to WWF, right?
Yeah, he was just Ricky Steamboat, and then they obviously
he kind
wanted
of
to put a
still
little bit of
dressed
a
the same
moniker.
and stuff.
Same outfit,
tights.
same outfit, same like goody two shoe.
Yeah, he's always a good.
Like Flair always said.
Yeah,
He's like Flair's always said, I'm the best wrestler, but he says Steamboat's the best face of all time because he couldn't play anything else.
Yeah, I
People
agree.
just loved him.
Yeah.
I always say him and Sting, even when Sting tried to play heel, just like I just feel like he was a better.
It's like
face.
Austin trying to play heel, man.
Yeah, I mean I liked Austin as a heel. I think that's for some reason people just.
It was just weird.
Yeah, I don't like the booking with it, but I mean
Yeah.
that's for another discussion.
Yeah. But regardless.
Yeah, of course.
Going back to this, I mean, yeah, I really wish he was able to do more here because like what he didn't spit fire out tonight, obviously, but like
when he comes, so
back
that's after
in '96, right?
91.
91. Okay.
Yeah. That's where I think we talked about it last week because of we're talking about Samba Simba actually, and then we're talking
it was
for
like
the
Rocky
Rumble.
Jocks and everything else. Yeah.
But yeah, like I just that's the only kind of flaw that I have with the booking after this match because obviously you see what happened with Savage, and you could have argued that maybe Savage took Steamboat's spot, but and then obviously all the hearsay with the rumors of Hogan or Steamboat with Family Time, like whatever it is, but
I still think like just in my mind like I think Steamboat's one of the greatest wrestlers,
100%,
but he's not in that same conversation at this point in time as Hogan, Flair, Macho Man.
I agree
because that's who it is right here.
Yeah,
and I would say like, and then like I would say like Class B would be like Steamboat.
This period. Sorry.
Like this like same period.
No, I was gonna say this pace right now.
Oh,
if
it's
you guys
crazy.
are watching,
It's crazy.
Insane. It's just back and forth.
Yeah.
Like this is what I think Brett and Sean were like. Oh, we can do this. Once Hogan like passes the torch to whatever,
yeah,
like we could do this. But go ahead and you said
I was gonna say like
B tier.
like the B tier, like if you say there's an A show, B show, and C show, and if you're using cross promotions,
yeah,
I would definitely say like then it's Steamboat, Sting, and I don't really know who else. I guess you could say Jake.
I was gonna
Probably
say
Jake.
like in WWE terms, like I know you put out the Sting for B. I agree with that. Probably even Dusty in '87, probably about that.
Yeah, Dusty, like I think his peak fandom was like 85.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
then
was
like
gonna say.
maybe like when he comes to WWF, but he was never like main eventer.
No. But yeah, Steamboat's definitely a B tier. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what kind of sucks because like at WrestleMania 4, it's like he could have been maybe in that A tier. You never know.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
think
he could. I don't think he would have been like. Yeah, I could see. Imagine the finals next year at the tournament.
Well,
Macho
think about
Man
it.
versus Ricky Steamboat.
That could have been a semifinal match.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to see that in the finals, obviously, withstanding the
It would
good
have been-
character of Ted
yeah.
DiBiase. But, like, that was supposed to... Well, it wasn't supposed to be, but I'm sorry. If you look at the brackets, like, Savage wins his match, and then I think Steamboat faces Valentine,
Yes.
and Steamboat loses, but that would have been a semifinal match.
Yeah.
Which sucks, you know what I mean? Because I would have loved to see that. Obviously, it probably would have been a much shorter time because I think the time limit for the might have been quarterfinals at that point. I forgot what it was, but either way, it was like 20 minutes. So I mean,
Yeah, it was
obviously,
15, 20-minute matches,
yeah, they
yeah.
wouldn't have even had that probably. But I just would have loved to see a rematch because of how great this match is. But I'll have to say, I kind of wish that they had this feud again. At some point, whether it was like a rematch. At like I know SummerSlam wasn't here yet, but even like maybe Survivor Series in November of '87.
Yeah.
The first one, you know what I mean?
It's crazy how much bigger Macho Man gets as time goes on, like jacked wise. Right here, yeah, he's obviously jacked, but he's not like pumped up.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's always been like, to me, he's like, I think he gets jacked in like the '90s for some reason, which is
that's what I was gonna say.
It's either that or like the camera's just more high def, but
Or the wrestlers are smaller.
yeah, or
That's
that
not
yeah,
the case.
yeah, that's for sure. What I used to try to take from, I used to always want to do this move, that
Oh
clothesline
my God,
off the
that's so
ropes.
cool.
I used to always want to do that, but
His ups were so athletic.
yeah, and he would do it so quick. And it's crazy. He used to be a baseball player.
Yeah, and baseball player, you're not really doing a whole lot of jumping. It's
No.
literally run and like throwing. And
Yeah, I
that's
forget what
it.
position he was. I was gonna say maybe in the
He was a
outfield.
second
Obviously, he
baseman.
jumped, but I forget. But other matches I was considering, which is what I want you to think about.
Yeah.
Well, you probably already know, but when you do your match, you don't need to say it now. But other matches I was thinking
That
about.
suplex was awesome.
It was good. I used to always suplexes. I used to always want to do Bret Hart suplexes because he kind of like leaves in the air with the guy.
Yeah.
But other matches I was considering. Sorry. What were they? Definitely the submission match with Austin and Bret. I was thinking about Shawn Michaels Taker at 25 because that's one of my favorite matches of all time. Gut wrench right there, beautiful. You don't see too much of those anymore. I think this is where the pace kind of quickens up for Savage, and like in a heel way. It's kind of weird. What was another match I was thinking of? Savage Warrior 7. I love that match.
That's probably that's probably Ultimate Warrior's best match.
Yeah, it's to me. I think that's one of the most underrated matches of all time. Like,
Macho Man was probably calling him out like, Warrior, what's number 54?
Oh, facts, dude. Facts. Nobody would go over the top rope like Savage right there, too, by the way. I used to love that. And I would always want to do that in training, but I was like, nah, I don't trust myself.
Yeah.
Not at all. Oh, yeah, so the Hart submission match with Austin, Warrior Savage, Taker Shawn. There was one more I was thinking about. I forget what it was. Maybe Rollins Orton at 31. I was trying to think of like a newer one. No, that was like a quick one. That wasn't it. I don't know which one it would have been. Do not know. But either way, speaking of ups, right over her, Earl Hebner.
That flying hand.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, foot on the ropes. Crowd goes wild. And oh yeah, let me go over the card before this ends because this is early '87, so the match lengths weren't as long, even though this is a crazy pace.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go over the entire card because I think we've done this in the past, like a remake, or we talked about a remake. But also, I think there's like 12, 13 matches that if I were to read them out loud to you guys,
we wouldn't be able to talk about the matches.
Yeah, we won't be able to talk about what you would rebook and you would just lose count. Yeah, there's actually 12 matches, so I'm gonna go over probably from.
Here's top 5.
I'll go from the Piper match down.
All right.
So 6 through 12. So I'll give you 6 matches.
Piper was really good on these Manias.
Yeah, he was. I mean, this is what's really weird because like it's the Intercontinental title match, but the 2 matches that are kind of like billed as the big matches is obviously Hogan Andre and then Piper's retirement match because he faces Adrian Adonis, who's just like lifelong friend. So this is kind of like third in command actually, which is just crazy because of how good this match is. But
there is an Adrian Adonis documentary on WWE. I wish.
Is that what that is? I thought
that's something I would like to check out.
I didn't know that was him. I thought it was Adrian Street.
Oh no, it was Adrian Street, not Adrian Adonis. Yeah, because Adrian Street was like a drag queen wrestler.
Same thing as Adonis, but I think Adonis just didn't do it in WWE.
Yeah,
I forget when he did it. He did do it. I just forget what happened, but. All right, so I was going to go matches 6 through 12. Obviously, WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome, 93,173. Obviously, the biggest gate up to WWE's point in 87. So just kind of signifies how big WrestleMania 3 is. And then, obviously, when we hit to select the event, his pace is insane. When you see the event, you obviously see Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring saying, "Welcome to WrestleMania 3. We ain't seeing Vince no more, bro. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can't wait to see what the repercussions are.
Yeah,
like, that'd be a reason why, right?
Yeah, I don't think he did anything legally wrong or he's gonna go to jail. I just think he's misappropriately spent company funds. That's what I think it was.
You think he's saving the company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get like a civil suit against him and probably owe a shit ton of money, some back pay with some.
There you go.
Like mental anguish or something. I don't know. Not like mental anguish for the people who he paid off to do things. Maybe, like, I don't know, something to the company itself, to the stockholders, because that's who's going to be the people. That's what it's really going to be. It's going to be the stockholders versus Vince McMahon.
Of course. Well, maybe he'll go to trial again and win. Again.
And then he'll come back. I did it again.
Right?
And I'm still the CEO of this company. And I'm better than you.
Look at that shot, dude. Him up top with all the cameras flashing. That's the one thing I did want to take from Savage. Well, at least I wanted to. But when I started doing the frog splash,
it hurts a little bit.
It hurts a little bit, but I was just like, I'm at least landing on like my knees and elbows, kind of. Now, hopefully, I would never happen. What Eddie Guerrero did when he dislocated his elbows. Luckily, that never happened to me. But I was like, if I could do the frog splash and I'm like nervous with all the pressure that I'm putting on myself. I can't imagine just doing one side of my body, like an elbow, like with my hip, which is why Savage had like 5 hip replacements or surgeries, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because of all that. But
Do you like the George the Animal Steel concept out here? I just never understood it.
I mean, I never understood it, but I never obviously couldn't watch the weekly or
Yeah.
bi-weekly television to follow it. I just know he was obsessed with Miss Elizabeth, and this kind of ties into WrestleMania 2, where Savage faces George the Animal Steel. And we're about to see the ending right now. I'm not going to spoil it, so just, maybe
wait for the moment.
Yeah, wait for the moment.
Oh,
But, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Look at the crowd pop. Great match. Steamboat wins with a small package, as Christian says. But this is actually a legitimate, out of nowhere, small package. And it kind of saves Savage, because he did actually have the match won with that flying elbow.
Yeah.
And obviously the ref was knocked down. Great sell by Hebner. And Steamboat gets the win, and the crowd goes wild. That's a good shot.
He was
right
over.
there.
That's awesome.
He was over, man. And, I mean, why not? He has a great physique, great look, great baby face.
I love it.
Yeah.
He was like, I mean, this is a really good time in wrestling. Good for him. That was an awesome match.
Yeah.
Last question before I think we, or if you have anything else, it's up to you.
I was going to read the card down real quick. Well, the 6 through 12, but go ahead.
I was going to say, do you wish it was Steamboat for Flair's last match was included somehow, or no?
Yeah, but I just don't know how Steamboat would have felt. I just feel like Steamboat or Sting. You know what I mean? Like those, when you think of like Flair rivalries, I mean, obviously Dusty's passed away, and he wouldn't be able to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But you would think Steamboat and Sting probably. Obviously, Shawn or Triple H, like on the WWE side. But I mean, when you go back to the lineage of WCW with WWE, I would think Steamboat and Sting, like for sure, in some way, shape, or form. Like the Jeff Jarrett one kind of throws me off, like Jay Lethal's too, honestly. But I just
one of Conrad's boys, and Jay Lethal, I think, trained him, so he feels really comfortable with him in the ring.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get the Lethal connection now, but like when it comes to like Flair's last match, like you're not thinking Lethal, you're definitely not thinking Jeff.
No.
You know what I mean? So it sucks, but I get it. Even Andrade, to be fair, it's just like
he'll do a whole last match tour for the next 6 years.
Yeah, you're right. In probably 5 more years, I'll probably do another one because he's not upset. But hey, if you're, when you're complacent, you're not growing. So no matter how old you are.
That's a great picture too for the heel, like to be crying going away.
It is. It really is. And can you imagine if like that close? Like that's a great shot right there. Just that crowd, like just that section of the crowd, and then the overview, just to kind of signify how big of a event this is. WrestleMania 3. It's just awesome. But real quick, just to wrap up the matches. I'm not going through all 12, but kind of gave the event and the attendance numbers, all that. But we're going to start with the Piper match because that was like the co-main because it was his retirement match. It was hair versus hair. Roddy Piper defeated Adrian Adonis, and then that's when Brutus the Barber Beefcake was born. He split from the Dream Team earlier in the show, and then he became the Barber by cutting Adrian Adonis' hair. 6-man tag match, Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation against Tito Santana and the Bulldogs. That kind of tied into the Savage match because Danny Davis screwed over Tito Santana, where Savage became Intercontinental Champion. But Butch Reed defeated Coco Beware in a singles match, 3 minutes 39 seconds, a.k.a. Dart match.
Yep.
Steamboat, obviously we just watched it, defeating Savage for the Intercontinental Championship match. Low-key underrated build match right here. Honky Tonk Man defeated Jake Roberts. That was a 7-minute match. It's not too bad. I wish Roberts had a bigger match, though.
Yeah, me
which we
too.
can talk about. I mean, I know you're trying to build Honky Tonk Man to become Intercontinental Champion, so I get it, but I don't know. Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, we talked about Nikita last week, defeats the Killer Bees. This is where the infamous Iron Sheik promo came by, actually. So he did make Brian Blair humble, and he got the win for the team. And in the main event match, WWE Championship match, Hulk Hogan defeats Andre the Giant. I've always said, best match, Steamboat Savage, and, probably, if you look at the first 10 WrestleManias, that's probably the best one.
I agree.
And then the most important match is also on the same card, because I think without Hogan Andre, you're not selling 93,000 people. So, great card overall. I think that's kind of the most WrestleManias, probably until, probably 6, honestly. Just because of the growth of the company.
Yeah, 6, 12, 17.
Yeah, definitely 17 for sure.
17 is probably their biggest. That is their biggest.
3 and 17. I was just saying, like even in the early
awards,
WrestleManias, like you probably think 3, 5, 6. That's it. 10.
Yeah.
3, 5, 6, 10.
That's about it for me.
Yeah,
because 1 and 2 sucked.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Hefty bags all day. But the 6 matches that I kind of listed, like, you okay with the matches, the bookings? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Honestly, for the time I am, because that's like I'm
It's hard,
still
right?
enamored with the characters, even though the matches kind of sucked. But hey, everyone still remembers all these characters. You can go decades and look at some portions of wrestling, and it's just like I don't even know who that person is.
Yeah.
I don't even know what match they had. So like yeah, even here like the next match after this is Jake the Snake versus the Honky Tonk Man. And it's still like 2 big gimmicks, 2 big names coming at you. You know, you have the Math of the South made his own name in music, and then you have Alice Cooper coming out with him. So it's 2 like music guys too.
Detroit, baby.
Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
Or rock and roll. Sorry, not heavy metal.
Whatever. So I think it's pretty cool. And it's cool to see even back then they had the star appeal to even consider today. And also Alice Cooper has not aged. He still looks like a corpse.
I say still looks ugly.
Yeah.
Not trying to, critique.
He's not hot.
Critique one's beauty. I mean, if you're beautiful on the inside, all power to you. But I'll just say that. All right, I'll rephrase that. His look's not appealing to me. That's what I'll say. But anyway, I don't want to wrap up on a negative note.
There's probably a lot of women who were very appealing to his look.
There you go. And we're not going to end on that negative note or that sexual note. But I will say, WrestleMania 3, if I were to give a Lopez rating to kind of wrap up the last match catalogs, I'm going to give WrestleMania 3 probably like a 7 out of 10 because of the 2 or 3. Probably there's a handful of good matches that delivered in regards to billing and delivering, but then obviously the spectacle of it, it's top notch. The only negative I have actually is this, ironically. I think Jake could have been built a little bit better. And I always think Hogan versus Jake the Snake, like the original plan, that might have been later in '87, but I would have liked that more.
Later in '87, that would have been awesome, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing. I mean, I don't know what else you could do with him, honestly. So maybe I'm just being nitpicky. And I'm also maybe thinking in hindsight, like maybe Jake wasn't ready. But I'll still give it a 7. 7.5 out of 10. But we're gonna do a quick pause. Let you guys, soak all this WrestleMania 3 in, because coming up in a couple minutes, we're going to go WrestleMania 17. So while we're pausing, you can definitely hear an ad from our non-sponsor. We are back.
Hello.
Primal Wrestling Show, PML Crew, Rich Lopez, Homeboy, Robert Price, Top Shelf. You guys probably just watched WrestleMania 3 or heard us watch WrestleMania 3. Or they're on Spotify or YouTube. But like we said, we're going to cover 2 matches. The WrestleMania 3 match was my choice. I feel like we had to show the 80s some love because we really haven't done that. We've been doing a lot of 90s and very early 2000s. So given a good match in the 80s, that's probably actually one of the best matches of the 80s, right?
Yeah.
That or the Mega Powers match. Mega Powers match was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably the
89.
best match. And you know what's crazy? All those denominators in it? Macho Man.
Of course. And I also, by the way, mean WWE, because I'm a WWE guy.
Yeah,
You're
same.
the NWA. You're more NWA than me, even though I do know a couple Flair Steamboat matches, because that's also a very good 89 match.
Thank God of the WWE Network.
Yes, fact. Oh, no, of course. But now it's time for Malloy's match. And like he said in the beginning of the show, he's picking WrestleMania 17. TLC II, Houston Astrodome. I'll let you explain why you like this match as we give you guys the timestamp. 1 hour, 52 minutes, 50 seconds. Again, 1 hour, 52 minutes, 50 seconds, WrestleMania 17. So hopefully you guys are still on that Peacock. You just hit back on WrestleMania 3 and then find WrestleMania 17 and then go to the timestamp. 1 hour, 52 minutes, 50 seconds. Molly, I know you kind of already gave the explanation, but you could reiterate it in case people don't want to rewind all the way back to the beginning of the show. Why did you pick this match?
I just feel as though it's like, to me, like when I started watching wrestling, this was like the first like thing for me. It was like watching ladder matches, watching the Hardy Boys. I was a big fan of that, the two brother concept, because even in the trampoline wrestling days, me and Mike were kind of always tagged together.
That's right, Q baby.
So that was cool. So that was just something I always like to watch. If I'm like sitting around, this is the match, probably a go-to match for me. I had some other ones I thought of.
Yeah.
I thought like, for instance,
what other nominations did you have?
Other nominations I had was obviously same card, Austin Rock. That's probably their best match, I think, out of their three match series. But
Agreed.
same, I was also thinking is Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. That's when I really first started getting into wrestling, where I was watching it week after week after week. And watching that story unfold was awesome, where it started the Royal Rumble. And that's arguably, I think, Angle's best match at a WrestleMania. And honestly, it's up there with Michaels, too. I mean, it's not the Taker matches, and it's
But
not...
you could argue without the false finishes.
Yeah.
That could be his best match.
Yeah, it could be.
Because maybe they do each one false finish, but it's not like Undertaker giving his 3 finishers and, like, you know what I mean? Like... So
yeah.
I can get, just to throw you a bone, like that actually could. I mean, if one were to argue, that's what I would say. Like, take the false finish, take the finisher kickouts out of the way.
Yeah.
Like the actual match, that might be the best match.
Yeah,
I
think so too. And I mean, like the Iron Man match is up there. It's
could be.
You know, it's a good one. But to me, it's something a little different that isn't watched all the time. Yeah, it's talked about, but it's not as watched. But to me, it is. So. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing it go on.
Yeah.
And also, too, it's like, it shows, like, that whole, like, this is the beginning, I think, of, like, that Ruthless Aggression era, where, like, all these new characters are coming in. Like, this match itself brings in so many characters.
Yeah, that's very true.
Beyond the 6 people who are in it. Every person in this match has been a world champion besides, I think, Devon Dudley, so...
Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. That's true. It's kind of... You don't think of them as, like... company holders because of their tag team, right? And obviously this is probably the biggest peak of tag team wrestling for WWE that they ever had.
Ever had it, probably will ever have.
And probably will ever have. But like you said, like when we're gonna watch this match, you're gonna look at Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and the Hardys, and you're gonna be like, I don't see them being champions. Maybe mid-card champions.
Yeah.
And then maybe like if I were to pick, you would probably say Jeff and Edge.
That's what I
which is obviously what you would see. But you would never think that Devon's going to be, or Matt's going to be, or Christian's going to be. Like you said, Devon, which I think could have actually been a really good mid-card champion. Devon's the only one that really hasn't, but it just shows the growth and the determination from all members of the tag teams. And like you said,
Devon and Edge still work there.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So this match itself just shows like how good wrestlers could be. And I think just given the opportunity to do so, they could do it. So
new beer, fresh for the match.
There you go. That's what you got to do. Just put it there. You're good. So we'll start this.
I'll do the 3-2-1 play since this is your match. All right. So we're going to do our 3-2-1 play per usual. And real quick, if you guys just want to keep following or catch up on old matches that we have covered, PML Wrestling Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at PML Show. Sorry, my bad. Then obviously Spotify and YouTube every Friday, or if you just want to go to the archives on a random ass Tuesday or Wednesday, it is there. But we're going to do our 3-2-1 play per usual. Ready? 3, 2, 1, play. And you get the overview of the crowd. Zooming into the World Tag Team Champions, which, like I said, I think this is the biggest peak of tag team wrestling, and this crowd is hot for the Hardy Boys. Sure. And, I mean, this is definitely a boy band getup, huh? The fishnet.
Oh, yeah. It's like My Chemical Romance kind of a thing. Like My Chemical Romance, All-Time Low, like that I would say, scene style of music like this. Like, not gothic, but kind of
it's like that
rock.
Emo sex appeal outfit.
So, I don't know if I ever told this story on here before.
You wore this?
No.
Okay.
I wanted those pants that Jeff and Matt had. And I was in 6th grade. And my mom was taking me school shopping, and I was like, Mom, I really want these pants. So
Did you get them?
No. So my mom's like, you can go try them on. So we're in Hot Topic, I go try them on. And she's like, Tom, she's like, you look foolish.
Yeah, I don't think you have the body for it, bro.
She's like, listen, she's like, I don't need you getting picked on, and you're going to get picked on if you wear these. So thanks to my mom, I did not wear the pants like that. Yeah, so thankfully that was a good thing because
Mama Malloy coming through, baby.
Yeah, because I would have told my kid the same thing. That just did not look right on me.
Nah.
I got a pair of like black skinny jeans, like not like skinny jeans, but like I guess you would say straight fit.
Oh, dude, back then, dude, the straight fit, that's what there was no tapered, or anything like that. No European cut.
Yeah.
Like it was just all like think of like starter T-shirts, dude. The T-shirts would come to your elbows.
Yeah.
There was no slim fit V-neck. It was crew neck. to the short sleeve to the actual elbow, not tapered. It would be just dangling.
Yeah, because I was always kind of like a skate, like, I guess when I was a kid, like I wore like skater clothes, like I wore like a lot of skate shoes.
You were
like
a skater
Etnies.
boy. You said see you later, boy.
So like I still dressed for style. So like I remember I did get a pair of Vans that year, and I got a pair of black jeans. So thankfully I didn't wear that though.
Solid.
But I could have wore the Dudley outfit.
Dude, you definitely could have worn Bubba Ray's outfit. You probably actually would have got arrested for probably armed shooting or active shooter in a school. Not trying to be funny, but just trying to be real.
Facts.
If anybody were to come into a school like that, you're definitely getting looked at and probably getting the cops called on you. Rightfully so, I might add. But speaking of gear,
I would just be there, testify.
I mean, that'd be more scary, to be honest with you. Actually, speaking of gear, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was thinking about it. It's crazy how Edge and Christian are like probably top 5, definitely like top 7 or 8. Like no argument to me.
Yeah.
Best tag teams ever. And they never had like matching gear.
Never.
Like they have purple and yellow on right now.
Yeah, like we're Vikings fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're in Canada.
That's
it is funny they never really matched.
They just had their gear.
Do you think Christian and the Hardys ever had a conversation too where it was like, man, we do fishnets?
Oh, a Christian. I didn't even think about that.
Because Christian always rocked a fishnet, like, from the time he first came in. And it's like, I don't know, man, like...
Dude, that was just a boy band, dude.
Yeah.
You had boy band cheeks, you know? The NSYNC Backstreet Boys were hot back
Nick
then.
Bass.
98 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what it was, you know? That's just the style when you want it. And by the way, and the other thing I didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to throw you another bone. Bro, if you're a wrestler back in 01, you could have tried those pants. Because when you're a wrestler... It's all creativity. It's all trial and error, dude. You could have tried those on and be like, yo, I'm going out like that, Gaines McCabe.
And they were not that tight when I wore them. They were very, very loose.
Well, dude, look at the belt that Jeff Hardy has on.
Yeah.
He has almost a weightlifter's belt to hold him on.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like those Janko. I think they're Jankos they're called.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And shout out to the ladder being brought in. TLC, Immediately. Let's go into this just to start off. I'll throw some questions at you. Do you like the first TLC match at SummerSlam more, or do you like this one more? Because you're going to, never mind, I don't want to spoil it. But
I think this is the best one because of all parties involved. We see more characters, more cast of characters.
Oh, for sure.
We see a lot more gimmick, I think. This is also later down the road, you see the most iconic shot, I think, of Edge's career besides getting set on fire by Mick Foley. It's the truth.
No, you're 100% true, but it just shows how crazy Edge's career was, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a wrestler and I was able to have the career that Edge has done it all. Great wrestling matches. Holy shit moments.
Yeah.
Like, Edge has literally done it all. Worked from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. With great wrestling, great gimmicks, like great runs, great title runs. Great just moments. You're 100% right, dude.
And like Edge himself,
it is definitely top 2 moments for Edge's career.
Which I love is like, and a lot of these guys too, like they started in 90s, like they're hot 98, 99, but they're relevant in 2009, they're relevant in 2019, and they're still relevant now. Like all of them. I don't know what's going to happen to Jeff Hardy, but
even then, technically if you want to be truthful, he's still relevant just for a different cause.
Yeah.
But to be fair, before that, he was relevant.
Yeah, and he was obviously going to be in a huge story with the Young Bucks. So,
but that's the thing too, like you said though, like Edge, Christian. I don't know about the Dudleys. I don't know how. I know Bubba was kind of young because I know he talked on Austin's podcast. But like Edge, Christian, and the Hardy Boys, they were young as shit when they started.
Yeah.
So like that's why Matt Hardy can still go. Now I don't know how they can still go given all the mileage, i.e. this match that they've done, because they had to do they did these matches. I forget which one it was. They did a ladder match like the day after a pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
The Hardys and Edge and Christian. It's like, bro, if I was Edge or Christian or the Hardys, I'd be like, yo, Vince, like, do you want us to die? Like, you're gonna have us do like some gimmick match
and
one
then
day, and then the next
never
day,
do it again.
Yeah, and then like the next day, you want us to do a ladder match on Raw? Like, are you smoking crack? I guess like Vince obviously wasn't smoking crack, but he was doing some other questionable activity that we're gonna probably find out through a thorough investigation. But of course, shirt's gotta come off. That's that boy band pop.
And then now we got the Dudleys kicking over in the ring. Edge is still getting his booty whipped in the match.
Oh yeah, that booty. Real quick, another question to you.
Big spot coming up.
Oh yeah, the What's Up, yeah.
What's up? That was so cool.
That was also this match kind of shows you the era, right? The fishnets, the What's Up. That was one of the biggest things ever going on, in 2001.
Man, I love the Testify from Devon too.
It's huge. Can you imagine the rush you get in front of?
Yeah.
I think there's like 70,000 in this show. This match better than the WrestleMania before because this is essentially a rematch. Yeah. I think there's a little bit more chair involved in this, but other than that, it's still ladders and tables.
Ladder match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is their best work.
Okay.
But I mean, also it has to culminate right from 16
to 17.
SummerSlam here, like so.
This is a perfect story. And then here's my next question. I want to see if you answer because I honestly can't think of an answer. What's the best match of these three? Doesn't have to be all three, but like involving two of the three teams. What's their best match that's not with a ladder?
None.
None. I've always thought about this. This is the peak of tag team wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Can you give me a good tag team match outside of these three? Either outside of these three teams or give me a good match with two of these three teams.
I will say a good tag team match actually was...
good throw by Bubba.
It was actually a six-man tag. It was Jeff Hardy, Bubba, and Spike versus 3 Minute Warning.
Oh, no, we didn't watch that.
Versus 3 Minute Warning and Rico.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't...
Survivor Series.
Yeah, so that same Survivor Series 2002, that wasn't a bad match.
Wasn't that a table match, though?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a table match.
Sorry, I didn't want to throw it, but I was just thinking.
It's true.
Because I was going to say, you could say the Hardys and Dudleys at Rumble 2000, but that was a tables match.
Yeah.
I mean,
everything it was a gimmick, so, I mean, yeah, it was good.
I was kind of being like a smart
for this time, I would say maybe, like, you have...
it's all right.
Road Dogg and Billy Gunn versus, like, a member of the Nation. Like a couple years prior, but it works.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I was just being a smartass because, I mean, obviously,
maybe APA and somebody, they were still good, but they weren't like on this level. Like
they wrestled hard, not good.
Yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. That's just an inside joke that we used to say when we played basketball. Played hard, not good. But no, I've always said that because like I've kind of reiterated it when we start talking about this match. It's like the peak of tag team wrestling, but you can't think of a like non-gimmick tag team match, right?
No, you can't.
Like, and like you said, this is the Attitude Era. This is what it's honestly like all about. And I don't know how you protect yourself from that shot right there, that like ladder shot. Like, there's no way to do it. There's a nice little tease in the crowd, kind of early on in the match. If I was like to me, you know what I mean? Like all six going up, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, because you could just be.
Look at the crowd and the camera. I miss the camera bulbs, dude. I miss that so much.
So do I.
Like that's crazy. Like it's actually like blocking out some of the wrestlers, and that bump from Christian is insane.
Well, he like hurtled over because he's like, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, like it's absolutely insane. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
Wow. I just like it's a complete car crash, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we got Bubba Dudley. He's out.
The referee's in there talking, make sure everybody's conscious. Thank God. The one thing I was going to say, it's actually kind of crazy that I covered WrestleMania 3 now that we're talking about it, and then you're covering WrestleMania 17. Because I think up until, like, if you look at the first 20 WrestleManias, those two are probably definitely in everybody's top, like, 3 or 5.
Yeah.
I never don't think 3 or 17 drop. I don't think 17 drops out past 2. 3, you could probably argue a couple of them, like 10. I've always said 6 actually isn't bad.
Top 5 still for sure.
But I say it's definitely top 5. So exactly. So like, it's kind of cool that we're covering 2 landmark WrestleManias, 2 very important matches out, of those WrestleManias. And why do you think people just love WrestleMania 17 so much? Like, you think it's the environment? You think it's the matches? Like,
I think it's the matches and
you think it's like what they all become
at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, Spike Dudley. He was
awesome.
awesome.
Spike, 150 total. Christian helping him out, pushing the table, and that's a crazy bump right there.
Yeah.
Little ricochet of the table, hits Spike in the back of the head. Spike used to take the craziest bumps, bro.
Yeah, and all he used to do was hang out and smoke weed with Shane McMahon. That's awesome.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, he was telling like stories like how he would ride with Shane and stuff. I'm like, that's so odd.
That is cool.
Very odd pairing. Like,
yeah, 100%. But I think Shane was just cool to everybody.
Yeah.
He just want to be the boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, did you see
Rhino, go ahead.
the man beast, Rhino, Ragor. Did you see the one meme where it's like Stephanie gets the business and Shane's just holding a nice pair of Nikes and he's like, this is what I got.
Yeah. This is one of the best pairs I've ever seen.
Do you think Rhino could have been more? Like,
100%,
do you see him to be like world champion?
Nah, I don't know about world champion. I would like him as a great... You know what? I'm going to give him a perfect analogy. Actually, I don't know if it's perfect. To me, it's perfect, obviously. I think of him as like a Warlow.
Okay.
But Warlow's better on the mic.
Yeah.
So Warlow, because of the mic skills, has a better chance to be world champion. Where Rhino really couldn't talk, so if you gave him a mouthpiece like a Paul Heyman, probably be amazing. I don't know who else in this era outside of Paul Heyman. But either way, I think Rhino could have been a great mid-card champion. And then if you needed to elevate him to a world champion role, definitely got to give him a mouthpiece. I.e. Paul Heyman.
I think he would have been a good person, like when Heyman turned on Lesnar the first time instead of Big Show.
Yeah.
He would have been a good person, I think, to go against him. Because he was still on the roster then. He could build him up and did it. Because that Big Show run was terrible. So that would be actually kind of cool.
Gotta take a sip of this.
Take back to basics. Lita's looking good.
That was the most random comment.
Yeah, I like the purple pants. So we're going to see here LOD's finishing move.
Yeah, tribute.
Boom.
A lot safer, I might add. You're not flipping somebody backwards.
Never thought that was a good idea.
But I mean, you kind of foreshadowed it earlier.
Oh my God.
That's a great chair shot, by the way. I mean, that's a great maneuver.
Yeah.
As well.
Here we go.
Here comes another great maneuver. Although I don't condone this anymore, and obviously this would not fly back in. Although Baron Corbin did do it to Becky Lynch a couple years ago, and it was crazy.
And place. That's all it is, my friend.
Right now, yeah, you're right.
Time and place.
That's a great move by Edge and Christian. This is where the pace kind of quickens, and it's like the beginning.
Cena comes out and power drives Alexa Bliss.
I don't know about that.
NFG, my friend. But
yeah, you're right. But do you like the incorporation of Rhino, Spike, and Lita as we just saw?
Yeah, I think it brings new characters to the mix. It kind of shows origins and everything else. I think some fans would be really concerned why Rhino's with Edge and Christian.
They're actually buddies though.
They're buddies in real life. I wouldn't know this watching.
Oh, right now, I have no idea. I still don't know, to be honest with you.
Because it's like Spike Dudley's here because of ECW, even though they set him on fire right before he left. Lita's with the Hardys, and then Rhino's just...
Rhino's from ECW, but I just don't know on WWE screens. Like obviously the Raw and SmackDowns beforehand.
I don't think he was even present yet. I wouldn't think he was on the roster.
No, he was definitely on the roster. ECW closed in January.
Oh, yeah, and the invasion already happened.
Yeah,
the invasion's just about to start.
It's about to start, yeah, and that's a great... I mean, I think Jeff Hardy, that senton's a lot safer than the one at 16. At 16, I thought he broke his back, Mike Tyson style.
I broketh my back.
I broke my back. My back is broken. And then also, shout out to Spike taking the entire impact of that, and then Rhino trying to just sneak through, acting like he got a little bit. I guess he got a little bit, but like Spike's like
not really. Spike's dead.
Spike's like not moving.
My God, they killed him.
Yeah.
So they got this 50-foot ladder coming in.
Yeah, I think it's about 75, and then the rest are like 20.
Yeah.
But either way, too high. Although, as a wrestler, probably the safest one. Because obviously as you get higher, it gets less sturdy, so that's obviously touching the belts. But that's a crazy bump, though. But that's what Jeff did, and that's why he stood out so much. It's crazy because, this is what the tag teams, obviously these three teams, even APA with their backstage segments, it's like, all right, obviously we can't be Austin Rock or like Triple H or Angle or Taker or Jericho even with his mic skills. But it's like, how can we stand out? Okay, well, let's have some funny backstage segments like APA or Too Cool. And then obviously Edge, Christian, the Dudley Boys, and Hardys, it's like, well, let's just hopefully make our bodies withstand this some way, shape, or form and then just steal the show. Because that's what they did every single time that these three teams got together. And obviously they put their body on the line in a huge sacrifice. Look at Christian try to show off with the one hand.
20. Do you think...
I wish he made this.
Do you think Christian goes in the Hall of Fame with Edge again? Oh my God, that's terrifying. Or Christian goes in solo? He has to. 'Cause I just feel like
I think Christian should go in solo. I just don't know. Like I think that China should go in solo as well, but she's in right now as DX.
Yeah, but luckily Christian never did porn.
That we know of. No, I'm only kidding. No, you're right. I just hope that Christian goes in separately.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I just wish they got rid of the 2-time Hall of Fame, I get it. It's cool for like acclaims and stuff.
I guess
like,
it's good to like put
it.
guys like Stevie Ray in there. He would never got in there with that Booker.
Well, no, but like if you're in once, there's the
big
iconic
spot.
shot. Yeah, a huge shot. The camera bulbs make it so much more special, and that's why that is so damn missed. But I don't know. It's just weird because like you're right. Like Stevie Ray would never get in, of course. But like Flair doesn't need to go in 3 times. Like we know he's a Hall of Famer. Like if he's going in as an individual, I'm pretty sure whatever stable or group he was ever in is going to be another reason why he goes in. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't need to say he's a 2-time because he's in the Horsemen. It's like, all right, well the Horsemen was popular because of him.
Yeah, or you put like the same. If you want to put in the rest of the Horsemen, like Arn Anderson could be in all by himself.
Agree, but not. But I don't think Tully could.
No, Tully couldn't. No.
Or Ole or what? Did they use Ole or Wyndham?
They used both.
Did they use both?
I think so.
That's my favorite spot right there.
That's a big jump, man.
Oh my god,
real big
crazy.
jump. Like you just gotta throw yourself off that ladder when it's getting pushed.
And the thing I would always hate, I used to always say this in my head when I was watching these kind of matches, like when I was trying to wrestle, in case I ever had to do these matches. It's like if I ever land, I'm landing face down, so I don't need to lay like Matt Hardy with my head up and trying to. Obviously he's hurt and he's resting.
Yeah.
But he has to lay like that for the next 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would like to be like Bubba Ray, just face down and just relax. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about shit. You know? But,
oh my god! And then you just got this going on here. Rhino's helping him out.
Yeah, this actually.
Man, Rhino's pretty ballsy for a big dude, kind of a.
I think Christian's ballsy. He's not even holding the ladder.
There's the tag titles. He's got them.
Yep, he's got them.
That's
the end
it.
of the
Match
match.
over.
Got the good bumps in there. Got the involvement of Rhino, who had a very. That's the kind of cool thing too. It's like out of those 3, like Lita, Spike, and Rhino, Rhino's obviously the most impactful. And it obviously showed because he had a very cool part in the end of the match. But never mind.
These guys are like dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely dead. Let me just go over this. Let's go over this card real quick.
A lot of good matches on this card. Obviously, main evented by Rock and Austin. Big heel turn that night. We also see. I think it's William Regal versus Jericho open the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what else we got?
I think we have RVD in there.
No,
he's not in there. No, it's next year he wrestles William Regal.
Yeah,
opening match.
Yep.
So we got that. Trying to think, IC champ at this point in time.
Was that Regal?
Yeah.
Or it's actually Jericho, but he returned.
Yeah, and then we have who's the European title at this point?
Test.
Yeah, that's probably the shits.
No, you know who you faced though?
Who you faced?
Guerrero.
Okay, so it was probably a decent match.
It was a decent match.
Who else?
Come on, give me.
I can't think of anything else.
All right, so I'll go over the card. The first match, we'll go over the heat match. X Factor, Credible and Pac against Albert and Grandmaster Sexay and Steve Blackman. Oh, sorry. Grandmaster Sexay and Steve Blackman lost to X Factor. Albert was not in the match. He was a accompanying X Factor. That's what I was going to say. I was like, it's crazy that he's against him because later he faces him. But either way, Jericho defeats Regal for the IC Championship. And then this is a match I don't think anybody would remember. Taz and the APA defeat the Right to Censor. Which I wish that they actually kind of had a more prominent role. Because like that was such a good faction for that time.
The APA or the Right to Censor?
Right to Censor.
Yeah.
Obviously APA is just timeless. But I think Right to Censor for that era was perfect.
They were really good.
And here's one of my favorite matches of all time. I don't know why it's so funny. Kane defeats Raven and Big Show for the Hardcore Championship.
Dude. Especially throw Raven through the glass.
He runs him over with the golf cart. I love that match.
Do you think Big Show and Kane just laughed the whole time filming that match?
100%. Raven was probably drunk.
Probably.
Probably all 3 of them were probably drunk. That's probably what made the match so special.
Yeah.
Guerrero defeats Test to become the new European champion. Here's arguably the best. best wrestling match and maybe on the card. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit or defeats Chris Benoit.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best matches. And then like one of the most matches that you don't even remember to be on the show is Triple H and Taker.
I just had to actually following the TLC match.
For like the first time.
The next match after the Angle Benoit match is China Ivory. China becomes the new women's champion. Forgotten match. And then another underrated match or forgotten match on this card because how stacked it is. The McMahon Street Fight.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that does not play good for McMahon today.
No, definitely doesn't. Definitely does not at all, especially with that Trish angle, for sure.
Yeah.
I guess...
I was going with.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just move on. Edge and Christian obviously defeat for the TLC 2 match. You guys just... I don't know if you... Did we say they won, right? We did?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won. The match is over. We're just going over the card right now. Iron Sheik wins the Gimmick Battle Royal. Look at that. Full circle.
Sheiky
Dude.
Baby.
We just talked about Sheiky Baby in the Brian Blair WrestleMania 3 promo. Iron Sheik wins the Gimmick Battle Royal. Like you talked about, Undertaker defeats Triple H in the very first of their trilogy matches. And then we got Stone Cold defeating The Rock, then turning heel. I actually like the heel turn. Some people don't. But anyway, that's WrestleMania 17. Arguably the best WrestleMania of all time. Similar to the Royal Rumble 92 of last week. It's arguable, but it's not really arguable. Like it's pretty cut and dry. You know what I mean?
Can't just this timing, the characters involved, everyone here.
It's like peak Austin, peak Rock.
And it's still like these people are still involved in wrestling today, and it's like almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
And like the people who aren't, they're Hall of Famers, or they should be. Two people right now on the screen are Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. They run the company.
Yeah.
So, like even you got Scott Hall, Al Snow.
Yeah.
Al Snow's involved in this show. You see him; he's big with OVW. Like, so you got so many creative minds in wrestling, even on this show.
Yeah.
So I feel like we look at like back at like what we first watched, like Steamboat, Macho Man, like they're like the bricklayers for wrestling. Like they're the ones who really built up interest. But these guys,
they're wrestling entertainment, and then they just
these guys rode the wave to the next level. Like they're the ones who were able to like. So I look at like Macho Man stuff. They're like the cavemen. Like they invented fire. Like they're able to get fire. But these guys are they're flying on high octane electricity.
They made that brick oven.
Yeah,
they made that brick oven right there. I agree with that. It's kind of cool. And then just to kind of wrap it up, we kind of talked about it, I think, on a previous show. I forget which one it was. Heyman and Jim Ross.
Very underrated as a commentator.
Underrated, right? I agree.
I really like their dynamic back and forth because, like, and then, like, where it goes in a couple of weeks where he takes the headset off and everything else and JR comes back. And that's cool. But it is really cool. Like, because I think it also, too, brings an audience into Paul Heyman because, like, listen, I wasn't watching ECW. I was barely watching wrestling, and I knew who some of these people were.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't know who the ECW, WCW guys were at the time. So I think it was a good way to introduce Paul Heyman to a new audience when, in fact, like, he wasn't. But, like, hey, listen.
I miss those signs, too.
You bring in guys like, you know, someone from Ring of Honor. I'm not going to know who they are.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of bricklayers, I mean, not trying to go to the next match at all.
Yeah.
But this is also the last WWE like pay-per-view appearance of maybe not Mean Gene because I feel like he did the WrestleMania 20 Hall of Fame induction, but at least him calling a match. But definitely the last last WWE show of Bobby the Brain Heenan, which is very underrated. But I was gonna say something. So obviously at WrestleMania 3, I kind of talked about I wish I did something more with Jake. If I had to pick something, if I had to be that nerd in the basement, which I am right now, I was gonna say, like, Jake, I wish he had a more prominent role. And maybe that's me in hindsight, you know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't know how he actually was in 87.
I think he's number one on my list who I wish was WWE champion.
But for WrestleMania 17, as great as it was, is there anything you would change?
The end of the show where Austin shakes McMahon's hand.
Really?
Yeah.
How about, like, outcomes, though?
Outcome of the match?
Because even Austin has said that he wished like he just shook Vince's hand and then gave him the stunner. But that completely defeats the purpose of Vince helping him, but whatever.
Yeah, I would, I'd have Rock be a heel again. I think that's cool. Like, actually legitimate heel, not just like where it was two faces.
Like 15 and 19?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what only thing I would change there. Match-wise, I don't know, man. I was kind of cool with how everything worked. Yeah, I'm good with it. I have no changes besides Steve, the heel change at the end.
Okay, there we go. Wraps up 17. Hope you guys enjoyed our show.
Actually, the Bushwhackers should have won the tournament.
They should have won the TLC too.
Yeah.
That's what they should have did. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show. We covered one of my favorite matches, WrestleMania 3, Steamboat Savage. We also just covered one of Molly's favorite matches, the TLC II match, where Edge and Christian won. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. This kind of wraps up all of our match coverage. Next up is our finale. Like I said, we're going to discuss, see where we're at, but it's going to be a banger. I have some ideas. We're going to talk about them off the air, and then obviously our last show whenever you guys are ready for it, or whenever we're ready to release it. It's our last little hurrah of the weekly shows. So hopefully you guys can just follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at PML Show. We'll give you guys like a little update on when that's going to come out, but it should definitely be within the next 2 weeks for sure. Yeah, is there anything else we could really say outside the matches? Like, what was our favorite matches that we covered?
Sheiky's number one.
Sheiky number one. Like, favorite match. Like, what was your favorite coverage of matches? Like, we did like the Big Six. We did the Money in the Bank, which was the SmackDown ladder match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
King of the Ring. We did the the Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon street fight. We did the Survivor Series Elimination Chamber match. We did the SummerSlam Bret Hart Bulldog match.
I think my
Rumble 92, and then these 2 WrestleMania matches. Obviously, we kind of kept with the theme of the current pay-per-view schedule for WWE. We threw in an ECW match with Jerry Lynn RVD. We threw in a WCW match at Fatal 4-Way at Spring Stampede 99. But what's your favorite? I know you might need to go to the memory bank a little bit.
My favorite's definitely the Elimination Chamber. I really enjoyed watching that match. That was like my pure fandom. And I'll still, like, even we just watched it 2 weeks ago, or last week, I'll literally go and watch it tonight.
Solid.
But other than that, like, just picking, like, a second, I really enjoyed the Bret Hart British Bulldog match, because it's something I just never really watched before, that I just, like, actually sat and watched it, versus, like, I was doing something else, like I'd be cleaning or working or something in between. So, yeah, that was a really good time just to kind of, like, watch that, because, like, a lot of Bret's stuff at times, to me, could be boring to an extent.
No wonder why we're cutting the show off. Sure.
Yeah.
We might get.
I don't know.
If we're going weekly, we probably got shut down right now. Were you just saying that? But no, I'm only joking.
Some of his stuff throughout the years where it just wasn't good booking or just wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. Nah, never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe we could make a lost episode of watching something like very stupid like this.
A lost episode.
One day.
Yeah, maybe we can watch the 93 Rumble, because that's a whole bunch of stupid, and it's a whole hour.
Yeah. How about Harvey Whippleman coming in here?
Look at that strut, baby. He's happy. I think my favorite match, and then obviously we'll officially wrap it up right now. I love the Angle Shane McMahon match. I actually wish they never did an Untold about it, because I feel like that's a forgotten match, and then the Untold kind of brought it back to life.
Yeah.
And then also the Jerry Lynn RVD match, just because I never really watched.
Dude, that was a good match.
Yeah, like I never really watched enough ECW, as much as like I love RVD and like Taz in that era and Rhino and all that. And I've seen the Jerry Lynn RVD matches. I just never really like soaked it in like I would a WWE match. So it was kind of cool to cover that and hang out with you and have a beer with it. But the other thing too is like the Rumble match, like the 92 Rumble, and then like WrestleMania 17 and 3. Like obviously Savage Steamboat, I picked it. I've watched it a million times. I've watched WrestleMania 17 in its entirety a million times. The 92 Rumble, I've watched it a million times. So, the Elimination Chamber match was good, though. I always try to watch. I forget which one. I think I like the 06 or the 05 one the most. So, watching 02 was like, you know what? This is a good original match. So, for the first. So,
yeah.
It was cool to go to that, too. So, I guess those are like kind of the 3 that I liked. But, let us know what you guys liked when we covered it. Like I said, outside of the Big Six that we kind of wrapped up our cycle with, we did, watch a couple backlashes and a couple. Did we watch a Judgment Day? I forget what we watched.
We watched a lot.
Yeah, we watched a lot.
Months, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at PML Show, and then like I said, you could look in our archives on Facebook on Spotify and YouTube, or if you guys just want to watch. You guys are watching, hopefully listening or watching this episode right now on Fridays, but for the finale, it will come out on a Friday. It's just a matter of next week or in 2 weeks. We'll just see how long our recording goes for that last hoorah. And speaking of the last hoorah, we got a big hoorah this weekend.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
Mark's
Let's
getting
do it.
married in a month. Congrats to you and Katie. But we are going to celebrate safely and responsibly this weekend. And I hope you guys listen to our show, whether you're driving or sitting at home, safely and responsibly. And I hope you guys are also having fun and being safe and staying cool because it's August almost and that weather is brutal.
It's hot AF.
So yeah, as always, be safe. And thank you for following us all these years. It is time to close out with the finale after this episode. So all that to say, we are the PML Wrestling Show. PML Crew, Rich Lopez, Homeboy Malloy, Robert Price always with us on the top shelf. Until that finale, where you guys are listening to us, stay safe, stay cool, enjoy wrestling, enjoy sports, and as always, peace.